And we did it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, grots and gits, we are freaking live and we're ready to rock and roll. Guys, I'm pretty excited. Just want to say a big shout out to all you beautiful people. Super happy that you're here because we have some things that we've got to get done. And that is, we got to win the worlds, baby. So, as you all know, I'm going over to the World Championships here in about a month. And my goal is to do pretty good. I'm not trying to do okay. I would like to do pretty dang good. And that's what we're going to do today. So I've had a lot of like individual clients and then just people in the Discord in general talking a lot, asking a lot of questions about list building. And sometimes people put out some fairly wacky stuff. Sometimes people put out some really brilliant stuff, but they miss some really big fundamentals of list building. So as I'm going through some of the potential lists that I'm considering taking to Worlds, what I really thought about was, hey, why don't I just kind of share live my process as how I dig through these things, how I build things with all of you guys so we can all get some experience with this together. So one of the big things that you have to start with whenever you are starting list building is that you really just got to figure out, okay, what is the goal of your list? And I've talked about this in some of my other videos that some of you may have seen. But the goal is always going to need, it just always has to change, right? So for the World Championships, I actually have to make a list very differently than I might for just a really good high-level 80-man GT, right? It's just not the same because we will be seeing different armies there. Let me give you an example. Orks, for example, right now, are in the mix of armies I'm considering taking to Worlds. They're not super high on the mix, but they are in the mix. And let me explain why right now. Right now, I have to identify what are the top two factions that I'm really scared of at Worlds, and I know are going to be there because I know it's basically nothing but really, really good players. So you're not going to have people showing up with meme lists there. You're only going to be having good players show up with good list ready to rock and roll. Well, I think the top two predators in the meta currently is going to be number one, the Imperial Guard, and number two, the Tyranids. I think those are the two menaces. I think they are clearly the best two armies in the game. You might hear me say something more about this on Friday when I do a live stream. when we are doing our tier list, I'm going to be breaking down all the whys. But I can pretty much confidently say I believe that Imperial Guard is a huge issue and Tyranids are going to be a huge issue. So no matter what army I build, I need to be able to handle those two armies. And interestingly enough, I actually find that Orks have a really decently good game plan into both of those armies. Imperial Guard don't like Orks. Like I just see right now, Zulu's in the chat. Hey, what's up, Zulu? Happy to have you here. Appreciate you, buddy. But Orks straight up, people, he's saying that Orks don't like Imperial Guard. I tend to think Imperial Guard doesn't like Orks. Because when Orks go first against Imperial Guard, we move all of our transports up, and then Guard's going to have to spend their turn popping the transports, which gives us our entire wall turn to get in their face. They get locked in the deployment zone, and they can literally never get out. So Guard does not like Orks, just to be clear. Aquilans are a big deal. Yes, that's a really good question. And yeah, so they're going to be able to steal some objectives and stuff. But if you look at the output for Aquilans, the output of Aquilans isn't enough to pick up, say, a boy squad, or dare I say, a truck squad in your backfield. So Guard does not like Orks, and neither do Tyranids, because the Orks have the ability to just Beast Boss go through and say, nope, you don't have a terrain effects anymore. Now that also doesn't mean like Orks are super confident into those armies, but I think they're actually better than most other armies into them. However, all the other menaces that we're going to see, whether it's going to be Tau, whether it's going to be CSM, whether it's going to be Space Marines, all of those armies, which we will also see at Worlds, rock into Orks. So while Orks are definitely on my radar right now, they're not super high on my radar, because even though they actually might perform well into what I think are the best two armies in the game, I think they perform a little bit less well into some of the other armies. So these are the parameters I'm kind of working with, guys. Whatever army that we are looking to build, I need to be able to counter Nids, and I need to be able to counter Guard. I have to be able to handle those two armies. That's clear, right? Oh my gosh, we got so many people in chat. It's super awesome to see you guys. So let me just start with the first one, okay? I'm going to start with the guys that everyone's kind of excited about right now. They're new on the block. People are thinking they're really, really good. I'm thinking they're good, and they are definitely a consideration. So I'm going to start with the Blood Angels, all right? I've got a few different list builds that I have in mindset. So let me kind of give you the rundown for where I think these guys really shine. Let me just switch my window here real fast. All right, so this is what I think Blood Angels have as strengths, right? Number one, they have a really big problem for people in the form of the death brick that is Dante and the Sanguinary Guard. These guys are super fast. So basically, any list I think I'm going to build, I'm going to start there. And I'm going to do live list building here too, by the way. I just want to go through the strengths and weaknesses of armies when I do it, right? Because just kind of make sure that we're all on the same page and we're all working from similar information, even if we have different opinions. We as Blood Angels have that Dante Brick, which since we get Advanced in Charge and Liberator Assault Group, because that's the only thing I would consider with them, or Gladius or Liberator Assault Group, that unit can go 19 inches turn 1 and then just charge at +1, and that's a big problem. Then we have amazing one-ups in the form of Mephiston, Sanguinor, and then I'm obviously going to be bringing in the Calidus. We have 3 fights first lone-ups that are basically untouchable by any chaff. You can't charge them with JPI. You can't charge them with Storm Boys. You can't charge them with literally any unit that costs less than 100 points because they're just going to kill them first, which is a really, really big problem, especially for some of those armies such as Guard, right? So Guard's going to have to come to you to take the objectives off of you, which is actually a big problem for them, right? Same thing with Nids, right? So if they're playing Crusher and they want to stay in their back corners with all of their X-Crins and all of their Tyrannofexes, they're going to have to send like Hormagaunts to come kill Mephiston. How do you think that's going to go for them? Not really well. So I actually think that our Blood Angels have a decent play into both the Nids and the Imperial Guard. Then we have a huge advantage in form of the mobility and then our ability to punch up. So Liberator Assault Group's going to give us the advance to shoot, the advance to charge, the fallback shoot, fallback and charge. And then we're also going to be able to take just a 5-man JPI squad and we could wipe a 10-man unit of boys with them, which is pretty nice because that doesn't work in the other detachments. So I'm going to go to New Recruit here. And if you guys don't know what New Recruit is, it is the list builder I pretty much always use because I think it's just the best list builder out there. So let me just click on over to that. And just in case you guys didn't notice, Ian is in the chat. And Ian is currently undergoing a problem. And all super chats will be going today specifically to fund me making fun of Ian. So just saying he's been growing too confident. So if you guys want to hear some of that, just make sure that you fund him because his ego is just getting a little high. He is now the official captain of a Happy Crumpin team who's going to go terrorize. He's going to go terrorize the try-hard teams. So love you, Ian. I will make fun of you, and I appreciate you. All right, so let's go to New Recruit. This is the best list builder out there, I think. I think it's way better than Battlescribe, so it's what I use. I don't get paid by them. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just think it's the best list builder, so it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start from new. And so what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to build a Blood Angels list, and then what I want to do is I am going to compare it to some of the other like really good players out there who I have a lot of respect for, and some of their lists. And we're going to kind of talk about why my list might be different from theirs. So we'll just say new list here. All right, add force. Boom. And make sure you guys can all see this, right? And it's loading in. All right, cool. Let me just shift the screen a little. So yeah, there we go. All right. So we got 2,000 points. We got to be able to go through 8 rounds at this tournament. Probably 9 because there's going to be a shadow round. And since there's a shadow round, that's another consideration for this list building, guys. I can't have a crazy complicated list where I'm just going to get exhausted going through the mental gymnastics of running it. So I need a list that has a purpose, that does what it needs to do, and I'm not going to get exhausted playing. So that's Blood Angels are a good answer for that. Actually, I think Orks are a good answer for it too, and we'll get into Orks list building right after I'm done with Blood Angels. So let's start with Blood Angels first, though. All right, so in my opinion, I basically have to start the list with the must-takes, and the must-takes for me is going to be Commander Dante, and he's going to be going with a 6 Sanguinary Guard, the Sanguinor, and Chief Librarian Mephiston. Now, there are other great characters. Lamartine is still a really good character. A lot of people love Astaroth. I don't particularly enjoy Astaroth, to be honest with you. I just don't think he is necessarily the best choice. Not that he's a bad choice, per se. It's just, I really think when you take him, you're basically praying that you're going to get lucky and get a lot of dev wounds with his charge, right? That's kind of what you're praying for. And I don't necessarily want to be praying to get lucky, right? I want to make my own luck, boy. I want to make my own luck. So these are the characters I'm going to start with. If you're a Blood Angel player out there, let me say something real quick about the Sanguinor and why he has to go on my list. Because I was listening to John Lennon talk earlier today. I think he was on with Quinton, and they were both talking about how they think the Sanguinor is overrated and overpriced. I would agree with them that a Sanguinor is slightly overpriced, but what he gives you is a entire free turn a lot of times, right? So if we're playing in the melee matchup, let's say we're playing against Orks, or we're playing against World Eaters, or we're playing against CSM, or whatever, and your opponent, it's not their go turn, but they really need to kill a squad of your scouts, or they need to kill a squad of your JPI, most of the time, those armies just straight up can't charge you. Because if they charge you, the Sanguinor comes down and murks them, which means they just lose a squad for no reason, and then your Sanguinor is in a position where they don't want your Sanguinor to be. So it's like, just taking him can give you an entire free turn of staging against 50% of the armies in the game, which is really dang powerful. In the games where you're playing against a shooting army that has no real melee pressure, well, he's a lone op character that moves 12 inches that you could just start on the board, which is a really, really big deal. When you're playing against the Tyranids, for example, and they want to Shadow in the Warp, and you fail that one critical Battle Shock roll, you're screwed. Uh-oh, wait, you've got a Sanguinor next to you, so you get to re-roll it. You're playing against, say, World Eaters, and World Eaters want to send in that 6-man brick of Exalted 8-bound, and the Exalted 8-bound make a charge, but they don't, it's not a great charge, but they charge your death brick of whatever you don't want to die, and only one ends in engagement range, and the others are going to have to pile in to get in engagement range and fight you. Well, here comes the Sanguinor, and now suddenly all those 8-bound have to pile in towards the closest enemy model, which means he's going to have to attack with 5 of his 8-bound into your Sanguinor and not into your Sanguinary Guard. Which means, okay, sure, your Sanguinor dies, but then you get to kill that Exalted 8-bound squad for free with your Death Brick. So he just has so much value, and honestly, most of it isn't really his killing power. It's his ability to be where you need him to be. So that's why I always say the Sanguinor. Mephiston, just a freaking rock star. It's insane like how tough he is, and like, dude, I'm gonna take Mephiston. I just can't run a list. All right, so let's go ahead and start fleshing this thing out. I know for a fact that no matter what, I need the Sanguinor squad, the Sanguinary Guard squad, because the Sanguinary Guard squad, I'm gonna take 3 with bolt guns, and then I'm gonna take 2 of them with Inferno pistols. Something like that. I have no idea how it is. Anyway, I'm just going to put it on here. It's good. There'll be 2 with Inferno pistols. I'm always going to take blades, I think. I don't think I want spears, because blades are still going to go up to strength 8, which means they're winning most infantry on 2s anyway. And then I can always give them the lance ability if I need to. So I'm going to take 1 unit of Sanguinary Guard, and they're going to be running with Dante. So just take a quick look. I've taken my 3 characters, and I've taken 1 unit of Sanguinary Guard. Boom, I'm already at 665 points. That is a lot of points I already have on the table, and I effectively only have 3 units down. Now, there's another unit of Blood Angels that I don't think I would ever play without, and it's going to be the Blood Angels Captain with the Rage-Fueled Warrior, because holy crap, the Rage-Fueled Warrior is just an unbelievable unit. If you haven't played against this guy, effectively once per game, this Chad is going to be getting sustained hits 3, and dude, sustained hits 3. Sustained hits 3 is just such a stupid rule on a captain who's going to get to use Oath of the Moment to fish for those 6s. And then you're also going to activate your Finest Hour, which means that captain is going to have 9 attacks on the go turn. You're going to get to reroll fishing for the sustained hits 3 because it's going into your Oath target. And then he's also going to get to reroll all of his wound rolls because you're going to attach him to Assault Marines, which means you're going to be like Strength 10, potentially +1 to wound, AP 2, rerolling everything with dev wounds, and you're going to have like 16 attacks on average with it. It's stupid from 1 model. So I think I will always want that, and I'm going to take it. And then I'm going to need a way to transport them. So this is where I think my question really comes. Do I want, and I'd like your opinion, so type it down in the chat, guys. Do we want a Redeemer to be able to transport them up, or do we want just like a Impulsor? And I think it's a good question. There's no really correct answer here. Now, GW terrain is typically more open than WTC terrain, which means firing lanes will be had, which is annoying as piss to me. I don't necessarily like that the firing lanes are as open as they will be, but they will be, so there's no point in really concerning myself with it. So I think it's going to be an Impulsor or a Redeemer. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to start, as a placeholder, I'm going to put down a Redeemer. And I want to see what I can build with the Redeemer. So let's do a Land Raider Redeemer here, because I'm going to need a way to deliver him. And I do like the ability to get to move the Land Raider Redeemer, then get him out. Because what that'll do is that'll give me play into, let's say, Grey Knights. Because I can move my Land Raider Redeemer, say, like 9.1 away from Grey Knights, and then disembark 3 inches. They won't be able to miss a Deimos away from that disembark, which means I'll get a 6-inch charge on a unit. So it gives me a little bit of interesting play. It can stop some of the reactive moves, and I think I like that utility. So I'm just, for right now, I'm going to start with this with a Redeemer. So we'll just go ahead and give it all of its equipment. This gives me my transport capacity. Then what I'm going to need is I'm going to need chaff that can just do stuff. And if you guys don't know about Blood Angels, you're gonna want scouts, because scouts are stupid good. They're just so efficient. 65 points, and they can just go murk most skirmishing units by themselves, because in Blood Angels, scouts are strength 6 when they charge. Woohoo! Ooh. This is yeah, so this is awesome. All right, so I see some of you guys saying impulsor, and I actually you know, there's an entire world where we go back to impulsor, but what I want to build is I want to build the list with the redeemer so that I can see what the points are at, and then if I have to downgrade to the impulsor, I think I will. I will, but we'll see where it's at. You very well could be right on that impulsor thing. So now I've got 2 squads of scouts. That's honestly all I really need for actions and for early game skirmishing. I don't really need any more. I do know I need especially one more character, and if you're playing Marines, or really if you're playing any Imperial faction and you're not bringing a Calidus, slap yourself, because the Calidus is just brutally efficient. There's just no reason to not take her. She's absolutely unbelievable. Her ability to get secondaries, her ability to screen, her ability to screw your opponent on CP. My Orc players know what it's like to have to spend 3 CP to fight Undeath. Oh, that is just absolutely brutal. I'm unfortunately really strongly considering the fact that I might actually need an Infiltrator squad. I didn't want it, but now with the addition of the Aquilans, an Infiltrator squad kind of seems like something I really need. It's going to help against Grey Knights, which we know are really good. It's going to help against Demons, which we know are really good. It's going to help against the Aquilans, which we know every single guard army is going to bring 3 units of those damn Aquilans. So I think an Infiltrator squad might actually be warranted. So I'm going to pop that bad boy in. And then we have some decisions to make. Now, here's where I am on Blood Angels right now, guys. We lost a lot of hitting power when we went from Index to Codex. That doesn't mean the Codex is bad. I think the Codex is good. But we lost a bunch of punching power. We're not taking Van Vets with the innate lethal hits anymore. Lamarte squad with the innate lethal hits is a lot less good than it used to be. You went from 10 Power Fists and 10 Inferno Pistols, which rerolled all hit and wound rolls, down to 3 Power Fists and 2 Eviscerators and 2 Inferno Pistols, and you don't reroll the 2 Inferno Pistols anymore. So, and the unit did not get significantly cheaper. It got 60 points cheaper, but that ain't all that much. Or I know, I think, yeah, because Lamarte's lost 10 points. No, it's only 50 points cheaper. Jeez. Oh my gosh. So I don't think it's necessarily worth it anymore. So we have to figure out some other ways that we can handle transports, and we have to figure out how do we handle those damn exocrines. Because exocrines are a problem, guys. So we actually need shooting. So I promise you we're going to need some shooting. So I'm going to start putting some shooting in here. And I got to be honest with you, I think GW just said, I love you, and they gave us the perfect shooting platform. They gave us the Ballistic Dreadnought. The reason why I like the Ballistic Dreadnought, and I'm going to just put 3 in here for right now. Probably going to have to remove 1. The reason why I love the Ballistic Dreadnought is because he's 130 points. He has that 2-up armor save, which is a big deal because you're going to be able to get him cover. And, you know, AP3 against 2-up with AOC is not, honestly, that scary. So I like how durable they are. But they also have that 44.8-inch range, and they don't need Oath of Moment because they're going to be re-rolling their shots natively. They're going to have 2 last cannon shots and their 2 missile launcher shots. And one of these guys can pop a Rhino. It doesn't mean one does pop a Rhino, but one can pop a Rhino. Which also means that one of these guys can pop an Exocrine. And that is something that I really, really, really like. Especially since Exocrines are kind of like the bane of my existence when I'm taking Sanguinary Guard. That flat 3 damage is just life-threatening for me. So a Ballistic Dreadnought, which just outranges them, is a big problem for my opponent. It means that he can't just park his tanks if he's playing guard, or he can't just park his Exocrines in firing lanes and expect to not get punished. So I think Ballistic Dreadnoughts are just freaking awesome. I also think Predators are awesome. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to drop one of these Ballistas and I'm going to turn it into a Predator. The reason why I'm taking these Predators, it's going to be a Destructor, and I'm going to give them las cannons, not heavy bolters, and a Hunter Killer. So that one Predator is a little bit faster than the Ballistas, but it doesn't have the innate rerolls. So I think that's the trade-off. It's a little faster. It's got some better anti-infantry with it, but it doesn't have rerolls. So I think I'm going to take 1 Predator, and I'm going to take 2 Ballistic Dreadnoughts. And this is where I'm starting on. Remember, because we're going to do a little editing here. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Honestly, guys, that puts me at 1835, and I got to re-look at this list, and I got to see what else can I get in here. So we have 1, 2. So I got to figure out how many units do I actually here. I've got Mephiston, I've got the Sanguinor, I've got the Captain. So that is going to be 3 squads. Dante's with the Sangard is a 4th squad. The Assault Intercessor go with the Captain, so I'm at 4 squads. Infiltrator squad for 5. They're going to be holding my home field, more or less. Sanguinary Guard, we got them. Scouts, 6, 7 for the Scouts. 8, 9 for the Ballistas. 10 for the Redeemer. 11 for the Destructor. 12 for the Calidus. Okay, so I'm actually at a reasonable points. I'm actually reasonable here because I really I don't like to be less than 12 units, and I'm at the 12 units that I need. So one thing that I can do here is I can get myself an extra little melee, and I need some extra melee. So let's definitely throw in at least a unit of JPI. So when I put 1 unit of JPI in, because that gives me like a smaller skirmishing unit that I can throw out there and kill things with, which I really like. And that leaves me with 75 points. And 75 points is interesting. One thing I could do is I could just have an extra assault squad, and I could have it inside the Redeemer as well. And they could just pop out, steal an objective, do some skirmishing, and I think I kind of like that a decent amount. Weirdly enough, I could also take like a Reaver squad, and because the Reaver squad's like bubble of -1 leadership would stack with Dante's aura, or with freaking the aura of the whatever you call it, Mephiston, to prevent fallbacks and strat use, which is actually pretty sick. That's something actually worth. What do you guys think? Do you guys see any value in the Reavers? Because if you can stack their battle shock mechanisms with something else, I actually kind of see a value in it. Shit, do I actually do that? Man, that actually puts me at 2,000 on the die. All right, so if I'm taking the Redeemer, this leaves me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sanguinar's 13, Mephiston's 14. Those would be at 14 units. So I've got 1 freaking hammer, and that would be the Sanguinary Guard. I've got 2 hammers, which would be the Blood Angel Captain. So I got 2 hammers here. I've got serious shooting profiles, which your opponent has to respect. Like, this can pop any tank. It can pop any transport. I've got a huge Overwatch threat in the form of the Redeemer. The Calidus is going to be able to mess with my opponent's CP, and they're going to be able to do lots of other shenanigans with, like, just getting secondaries. Guys, I really think I like this list a lot. So what's the problem with this list? The problem with this list, I think, is the Redeemer's hard to move. Yeah, I mean, and that's it, right? That's the problem with the list. How would I build this? Like, all right, let's see. How about combo Reavers with Mephiston and Dante for 2 consecutive turns? Yeah, I mean, that would be the goal, right? But I would assume my opponent would kill them, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Yeah, so Simon Siv wants to ask, no speed of the Primarch. Dude, I like that. I really do, but holy crap, man, it's expensive. It's 25 points on top of something. I think if I was going to run 2 Sanguinary Guard units, I would do that. But if I'm running 2 Sanguinary Guard units, you can pretty much 100% guarantee I'm not taking the Land Raider Redeemer. Let's just for shits and giggles, let's take a look at what that would look like. So this is 2,000 points. And I'm actually just gonna do a little list export here. I'm gonna put it into our PDF, into our and if you guys want these lists, what I'll do is you can get them from me on Discord. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just say this is BA1, and then I'll go ahead and check out my BA2 here. Oh, that's the wrong button. Let's close this off. All right, let's go ahead and try this one more time. And let's try to get rid of the Redeemer, and let's see what we would do if we were doing a double Sanguinary Guard army. So if I get rid of that Redeemer, put in a second. Oh my gosh. Oh, the second Sanguinary Guard is there's 270 points, dude. And they only hit on 3s, which means I have to have Oath on that squad's target. And then if I want to put a captain in it, it's going to be, for the speed of the Primarch with a jump captain, that's 110 points, dude. Man, I don't know how I get the points for that. I guess one thing I could do is I could drop the Reaver squad and not put on the speed of the Primarch. And that would just give me the jump captain. Man, dude, that's brutal. I just don't think I can do it. It's too many points. You can't take 2 Sangard. It's just too many points. Now I got the question is, only 1 JPI. Incursors in Dante. What do you mean? What do you mean about that, Cursor? What do you mean about incursors in Dante? So yeah, I find I don't really need more than 1 in JPI anymore, but having 2 is nice. But if I'm gonna have 2, I'm definitely have to drop the Redeemer. So let's see what that looks like. I put a second JPI in. Then I have to have an Impulsor, because then now I need a way to transport, right? So let's look at our dedicated transports. I'll put the impulsor down. That puts me at 1885. So here I've got 3 units for anti-tank. I've got my transport. I've got my Calidus. I've got... So I think here, if I do this, what I need to do is I'm going to have to drop the Reavers. And that can actually put in another Predator, actually, if I'm looking at it. Nah, that leaves me with 60 points. That's not enough to get a scout squad or anything. So the points just don't quite work out there. Unless I only wanted 1 scout. Although, what I could actually potentially do... Let's do this. I could put in a Ball Predator. Put in that Ball Predator. Ball Predator is actually a really strong skirmishing unit because he wrecks infantry. And he's pretty tough. And it leaves me with 55 points, which is a Tech Marine. And this is actually a little piece of tech that a lot of people aren't thinking about that I really like. Dude, a Tech Marine is a pimp in Blood Angels. A pimp in Blood Angels. Because he gets the +2 strength, +1 attack. We got some people saying the 10 Terminators, chaplain in the fights first, hits on 2s with Oath. They're only 50 points more than the Sang Brick, but twice as durable. Are they actually twice as durable? Seeing as you're never going to get them anywhere. Man, that just seems so hard to put anywhere, man. I have no idea how it would ever move that up the table. It just seems like... That seems like an option. So what he's talking about, he's asking me, do I want a 10 Terminator brick with a chaplain and fights first? The hits on 2s with Oath is a gimmick, right? If you have Oath, you're rerolling, so the +2 to hit, the +1 to hit is a useless ability. And yes, I get that you're going to rapid ingress them, but I mean, screening a 10-man Terminator blob, 11-man with Chaplain for a rapid ingress is pretty freaking easy. And then you only move 5 inches. It's not like they're going to get where you want them to get. Let's be honest about that. I don't like that idea. I'm not opposed to the concept of it, but what I think I would need to do is I would need to play that to really ever be potentially sold on it. So this is what I get when I'm looking at one without a Redeemer. So if I have it without Redeemer, I got Mephiston, I got Dante, I got a Sanguinor, I got a Blood Angels Captain with the Ragefield Warrior, of course. I got the Tech Marine. Assault Interscouser Squad to guard the Captain. 2 units of 5 JPI, which is nice because that gives you a little extra skirmishing ability with, punching up a little. An Infiltrators to guard your back. 6 Sandguard, because that's what's going to have to punch. 2 units of Scouts, because they actually punch up a lot in Blood Angels. They can do actions, they can hold things. 1 Ball Predator, which all infantry hate. It's really good for Overwatch potential. I got 2 Ballistas, and I got 1 Predator. So I actually have some legit anti-tank and some anti-infantry at shooting, an Impulsor, and a Calidus. Guys, I kind of like this a lot. I actually kind of like this a lot. Damn, yeah, it's really not bad. I almost would like 1 more tank here, because the tanks are what enables the captain and enables your sanguinary guard to get where they're going, because you have to clear the way over their anti-infantry shooting. I really, really like this. And remember, in Blood Angels, you could advance and shoot your tanks. All right, so this is what I'm going to do here. Let me just save this. I'm going to save this down as a short. We'll copy the clipboard. I'm going to put that in my PowerPoint as well. And I'm going to enter that as BA2. And then what we'll do is I'm going to move on to the... what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and show you guys a Blood Angel list that someone else took. How am I killing 3 Dorns? I'm probably not killing 3 Dorns, right? All I'm doing is I'm probably killing 1 Dorn. And then I'm tagging the other Dorn. And then I'm going to try to win on pressure by killing the other stuff. You're probably just never going to try to kill 3 Dorns. And don't forget, man, your freaking Sandguard are AP3. So that's pretty solid. Yeah, pretty dang solid. All right. Oh, why not the Predator Annihilator over the Destructor? Oh, dude, the Annihilator sucks. If you read the Annihilator's ability, it allows you to reroll a damage roll of 1 against a monster in vehicle. Where the Predator gives you some serious anti-infantry shooting, its anti-tank shooting is like 2% worse than the Annihilator. So it's like you're just always going to the Destructor. You're just always taking the Destructor. Yeah, so here, let's check this one out. So I put up a list that from someone who I respect. I've played this guy a bunch of times. have a pretty good record against him, but he's a very good player. His name is Brian Sipe. This dude is a rock star. I'm a huge fan of him, and I really respect his opinion on things. And so he posted his Blood Angel list that he's taken to Coventry. So what I want to do is I want to compare the list that I just made to the list that he's taken, and I want to kind of figure out like where our ideas are different and where our ideas are similar. All right, so he is running the captain with the Ragefield Warrior. All right, cool. We're on the same page. He's taking Mephiston, of course. All right, we're on the same page. He's taking Dante. We're on the same page. Then what he's doing is it's looking like he's going full melee pressure. He's taking Lamartes and he's taking Astaroth, which means he's gonna be. I guarantee he's gonna be taking 20 Death Company with jump packs. And he actually has a lieutenant with Phobos army. That's weird. That's interesting. He might have just had 55 points available. He's like, screw it, I'll take this. He's got a 5-man Assault Intercessor. Yep, they're going with the captain. He has the Impulsor to transport the captain. 2 units of JPI. Makes sense. Yep, there you go. The 20 Death Company with jump packs. 6 Sandguard, 5 Scouts, 5 Infiltrators, and Ball Predator. All right, so this is another way to build Blood Angels that I'm looking at. Now, this is very similar to how I used to run Blood Angels when we were playing Alex, bro, you're mistaken. So what you're doing is you're doing your math on perfection, right? So you're assuming that I don't have a Calidus to make the -1 damage stat cost more. You're assuming I haven't caused any damage to that Dorn before. You're assuming that the Dorn passes its battle shock when Dante makes him take it, right? All these things, you can't make those assumptions. So when you just say he can't kill the Dorn, you're mistaken on that. Yeah. So there you go. So this is the other way to, I think, really build your Blood Angels right now. You either go hybrid or you go full melee pressure. The reason why I don't think I want to go full melee pressure like Brian is going here, let me just make sure you guys, all right, cool, you can see my screen, good. The reason why I don't think I want to do it is because if he runs into a table that just has open lines, you're dead. You're dead against guard. You're dead against nids because he's gonna have 3 Excrins. Like, how would you not take 3 Excrins as a nid player? Like, you'd just be a lunatic, right? You just have no way to get to him, ever. And I think you just lose the game right off the bat. So in a team setting, I think a list like this is probably the best. It's probably fantastic. But I like having the ability to open up transports, and I like having the ability to actually control, or at least make your opponent think about standing in the fire lines. And then just having a really hard melee punch. So I think Coventry is singles, Zulu. So yeah. So this is Brian's list. I think it's a great list. I understand his thought process. Guys, I don't like the Lamartes and the Astaroth bricks. They are 50 and 55 points respectively cheaper than the Sanguinary Guard brick. But the Sanguinary Guard gives you so much more. The -1 to hit, -1 to wound is actually a huge freaking deal. Honestly, I think if I was going to do 2 units of like 2 death bricks, I'd be going double Sangard. But luckily, we actually have that Ragefield Captain who hits harder than a Death Brick, and he doesn't cost like a Death Brick, so I really like that. So I like this list too. If you guys want, you can just find this on Best Ghost Pairings, or if you pop in the Discord, I think it's already been posted, so you can go check it out there. So let's move on. Let's get to a different race. Let's talk about someone else. Let's talk about the boys. I love the boys. That didn't sound right. Well, whatever. Orcs are awesome. Let's talk about Orcs. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint here, and let's just talk about like some strengths and some weaknesses for the Orcs before we get into it. And I'll just switch over here to PowerPoint view. All right, so here we go, guys. Let's talk about the Orcs. What do the Orcs give us? What do the Orcs like hurt us with? First thing the Orcs give us is they give us the craziest OC in the entire game. Yeah. Dual activation transports. What do I mean by dual activation transports? Guys, you can have the killiest unit in shooting in the entire game. Let's say you have a unit of Centurion Devastators. Very, very killy in shooting, and they are targeting a truck. And that truck has an unbelievable amount of points in it. Let's say you've got a 10-man unit of Nods with a War Boss and another, like, Snickrot or something. So you just have, like, a stupid 400 points inside that truck. Well, that Centurion Devastator brick, which costs, I don't know, like almost 400 points, which can kill anything in the game. It can kill 7 of anythings in the game. The only thing it can do is it can kill a 65-point truck if it shoots that truck, because you can't ever target the guys on the inside. So what happens is, this is called a dual activation, or you activation lock your opponent. It doesn't matter how much firepower you have if you don't have enough units to spread that firepower across. So orcs are not tough. They die to people sneezing at them. But if you're inside a transport, they can only kill your transport. So one of the things that I think that orcs are really going to have to lean into right now is just how cheap our transports are. So a 6-truck list, a 3-truck list with a paddle wagon, whatever. So you have crazy dual activation with transports, and that is what keeps you alive. So I think that's a huge strength. You get every single action monkey in existence, guys. Before the points updates, I think I was taking like 18 unit list, which is insane. Now I can probably get 19, maybe even 20 if I really stretch it. You have insane spike potential. A unit can just wipe something with a spike. And you have one hell of a go turn. Weaknesses being, you die to someone sneezing at you. Like if someone just looks at you mean, and then you could just die. Now, we did get a huge buff in the form of secret missions. Now that secret missions can't score in turn 5, it does force people to try to front load their play, which is actually really good for orcs, because orcs have a much better early game or mid game than they do late game. So those are some strengths. So let's look at what type of orcs we have to build, and let's think about how we do it. All right, so basically everyone loves Gaz. I'm not entirely certain I need Gaz. I really am not, but I'm going to start the list with him because I do love him. Like, he's a good unit. I would never argue he's not a good unit. But yeah, but we'll just put him in here to start. I think the Beast Boss is insane now, especially with the reduced cost Snagas. A Beast Boss with a unit of Snagas can basically kill any vehicle monster in the game, which is awesome, as long as it's not a Satan. But, you know, we've got Gaz's lethal hits aura to help us with Satans if we have to do Satans. And then you stack on all the stupid grenades and the tank shock and all that thing. That's how you get Satan. So I'm going to take 2 units of Snagas with 2 Beast Bosses because I just think you're silly if you don't. A War Boss, now that we have the attacks back, I think you just throw 3 in. Yeah, I think you just throw 3 in. There's no reason not to. You're, of course, going to do Power Claws. You're never going to do Big Choppas. And I love some boys, so I'm going to put boys. And I'm going to put boys. And then I'm going to put... I like 2 units of knobs. I actually generally don't do 3. I like 1 is going to be a 10-man. These are going to be claws, of course. Yep, so we'll do claws. And then I'm going to do the other one will also be claws, but it's just going to be 5 claws, not 10. Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. Okay, so now I've got these 2 units that can just go troubleshoot anything, right? So I've got the 10-man unit of knob that can just go punch through the thing that has to freaking die. I've got the 5-man unit of knobs, which can go punch through a 5-man unit of Terminators. Remember one really cool trick that you have in Orks is that you have that sweet, sweet fight on death. And that fight on death is really, really awesome because it gets around certain things like armor of contempt. Your opponent can't armor of contempt you if you're fighting on death into them because your unit hasn't selected them as a target. So Orks have some really, really good potentials. Oh, I'm not sharing my new recruit. Oh, thanks, guys. So let me fix that real fast. Ah! There we go. We did it. Thanks for sticking with me there. Sorry about that. All right, so we're sharing it now. Just so we can take you back through it real quick. I'm going to start with Gaz. I got double Beast Boss. I got triple War Boss. No, I give 0 shits about giving up Assassinate. So Assassination is, I just don't care about it at all. And I'm going to take 2 units of Beast Nagas, 2 units of Boys, Knobs. That's where I'm starting. I want Grots. I want 2 Grots. Because Gretchen are great little action monkeys. I actually a guy named Josh Cowlard taught me this. He is a guy out in the UK, so big shout out to him. So he actually taught me. He's also in the Discord all the time as Jay Coleman, so you guys can give him a shout out. But one of the things that he started doing a lot is he would take Gretchen and just strat reserve them and use them to block your opponent's areas where he really, really wants to do rapid ingresses or deep strikes. So I actually love doing that with Gretchen now. So I always take at least 2, and I'm probably going to end up putting a 3rd in here. I need me some Storm Boys, so I'm going to put 2 units of Storm Boys down. They're going to have claws. The Storm Boys are cheap. They're fast. I'm going to start 1 in Deep Strike. I'm going to put 1 on the board because turn 1, you need to be able to get Area Denial. You need to be able to get to the area where you're going to do Area Denial or get to the spot where you're going to do Containment. You have to be able to put units in order to score those secondaries turn 1. You absolutely have to do it. If you don't have your units deployed to score easy secondaries turn 1, like how many times have you guys played the game where you draw Containment and you draw Area Denial, and you're like, shit, I'm too far back deployed to get Area Denial, and I would have to advance to get this unit in position to do containment. And then you just feel like you didn't draw good secondaries. But you did. You drew amazing secondaries turn 1. You just deployed like crap so that you couldn't take advantage of it. So I like having a unit of Storm Boys on the board that will allow me to get to the places that I need to get. Right now we have 2 units of Beast Nagas. We got 2 units of Boys. I got 2 units of Knobs. I am very comfortable not having 6 trucks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a Battle Wagon because I think a Battle Wagon is awesome. And I'm going to give us 2 trucks. So with a Battle Wagon and 2 trucks, you know what? I'm not going to take the Battle Wagon. Let's go 4 trucks. I'm going to do 4 trucks here. I can always do a taxi mechanism, so if I have 6 units that want trucks, I don't need all 6 of those units to be inside of trucks, right? Ian, don't worry. That thing's on its way. You can actually start a unit in a truck, and then in turn 1, disembark from the truck, and have another unit jump in the truck, and then move the truck. Therefore, it's called the taxi mechanism, or taxi strategy, so that way you can effectively have a truck to transport more units than trucks you actually have. And this works for all transports, for all races. It's just Orks are really good at it, because we have cheap shit. So yeah, guys, I tried out the kill rig, and this is another just shout out to Josh Kalman on the Discord. Although this is a shot at him, he's a lunatic, and kill rigs suck. He's wrong. Don't listen to him. Kill rigs below. Did you know they don't even have a 6-up invulnerable save? How awful is that, dude? Blah! Dude, try to deploying that and not losing it turn 1 on any deployment. I dare you. Which hurts my soul because, dude, I remember 9th, man, where we would run double kill rig or triple rig, and I would go up and I would do, what was it, Frazzle, and I'd hit everything with a million more. Oh, I miss 9th edition's Orks. And I digress. All right, so we're at 1725 right now. I've got 4 trucks. I got 2 Storm Boys, 2 units of Knobs, 2 units of Grots, 2 units of Boys, 2 units of Beast Nagas. How many units is this? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I need the Mega Knobs for gas. Yep, I don't need that many. Just need 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got 15 units on the board. And I got 200 points to go, man. I love Orks. Now, the question here is, what do we do with our other points? Yeah, I'm probably going to have a War Boss lead one of those units of Boys, Ian. Yeah, exactly. So Jacob Black wants to ask, are Burnas a good choice? Burnas, I know some people like them. I, for the life of me, can't figure out why I would ever take a 60-point unit of Burnas when I could take a 50-point unit of Ludas. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, I'm always going to take the 50-point unit of Ludas, like, because you're going to do the same thing, absolutely nothing, which means that you just need bodies to be somewhere. That's pretty much all I can say. Yeah. Defcoptas. I need Defcoptas. If you guys know me, you know I love freaking Defcoptas. These things are brutes. For 90 points, they are an insane skirmishing unit. Yeah, I certainly need Follow Me Lads on the 20-man unit, or the big 10-man unit of Knobs. So let's go ahead and put down Follow Me Lads. Where? Oh, man, I've got the wrong detachment. Yeah, let's go Warhorde. By the way, I was building this list with the assumption that everyone knew I was doing Warhorde. So if I didn't say that, sorry. It's 100% Warhorde. So we'll do 4 Follow Me Lads there. That leaves me at 90 points. The question is, do I want another unit of Boys here? Or do I want more Koptas? Because I got to be real, man. I might just do another unit of Koptas. Dude, real? All right, let's just look at this. So I put another unit of Koptas in. I'm at 2,000 points on the dot. Here's this is such a this is ridiculous. All right, check this out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I've got 17 units in this army, and there are units in this army that rock. Why am I taking Defcoptas? Guys, Defcoptas is a 90-point unit that can, I don't know, you can rapid ingress it, you can deep strike it, you can be wherever you want with it. It's going to shoot into a 5-man squad. It's going to have 3d3, which is 6 shots, and then it's going to have +1 each, so it's going to have 9 shots, which means you're going to hit 3 times. The rocket is strength 9 with twin length, which means you're going to be wounding all 3 times. And that one activation can kill a Custode pretty reliably. And killing one custodian and shooting from Death Coptas completely dramatically changes the matchup. I think it's really, really nice. Coptas can charge through and clear any chaff without any difficulty. A charge from a unit of Coptas is just going to nuke a squad of whatever. So I think Coptas are great. I don't actually need two. It's possible that I might actually just take a third band of boys. There's a reality for that. That's a good question as well Zulu. Basically, what we got to look at here is we got to look at let's delete one of these Coptas for a second. We got to look at what can we do to handle some of these armies. I have the Beast Boss with the Snagas, and they're going to handle whatever big vehicle monster threat is. So that's what's going to go into the Rogodorn. That's what's going to go on into the Silent King. That's what's going to go on into Angron, right? And honestly, they can just pick them up, which is pretty freaking sick. Then I've got the unit of Knobs, which is going to delete whatever big anti-infantry brick he has, or elite infantry brick. I've got a 5-man unit of Knobs, which can go punch up. A 5-man unit of Knobs, I've had kill an Excrin. I'm not saying it will kill an Excrin, but it'll do pretty good work into the Excrin at least. 2 units of Storm Boys is going to be scoring points, skirmishing. I like it. Yeah. Man, I almost want to turn one of these boys into another unit of 5-man Knobs, actually. Yeah, man, let's do that. Let's get another 5-man of Knobs in here. That leaves me with 65 points. What does 65 points get me? I think that gets me... gets me Grots and an enhancement. Oh, no. No. It gets me another unit of Storm Boys. Boom. 2,000 on the dot. That's it. This list fucks. Oh, I cursed. Sorry. Yeah. All right, dudes. All right, so we got Gas. We got 2 Beast Boss. We got 3 War Bosses. We got Snaga's Boys. Grots. Mega Knobs. Knobs. Storm Boys. Coptas. Truck. This rocks. This freaking rocks. Bob Scott is asking, which, by the way, if you guys are asking these questions, super chats are appreciated. But how would you go after a Knights list? Would you just tie them up and gather points, or would you strategically target and destroy? Dude, I do both, right? I mean, I'd 100% do both. I would have my trucks in position to disembark my Beast Boss to go kill the thing that needs to die. And then I would just wear the other ones down with a death of 1,000 cuts. Like, you have an Armiger that's hanging out. I'm going to charge a unit of boys at him. I'm going to take the objective off of him. He's not going to kill my unit of boys, for at least for a turn or two. And honestly, the boys are going to deal some damage to him. They got a Power Claw that's going to be exploding on 6s. So, yeah, I'm totally happy to do that. Yeah, dude, this rocks. I think this list actually rocks. The only thing I wish I could really do is I wish I could just take a Battle Wagon and put Gaz in them. But if you take a Battle Wagon and you want to put Gaz in them, you can't take Ardcase, which takes it from T12 to T10, which is such a freaking problem because it needs the T12, because it just needs the T12. So this is an Orc list that I'm actually pretty happy with. It's pretty similar to some other things that other people have seen, but man, I'm pretty darn happy. The only thing maybe I would do a little bit different is maybe I try to fit in some bikers, because I think bikers kind of rock as well. But dude, with 3 units of Storm Boys is just hard to argue with. So this is how I would build this list, right? Because it's going to address certain issues. What if I'm playing into Knights, and Knights can just like nuke my transports? Well, it's okay. I have enough transports, and I have Storm Boys that can go on objectives and stuff, that can get places where, you know, maybe the transports can't, that the Knights necessarily maybe can't see. So I have units that can get to places where the Knights can't get to. I've got overwhelming OC. Like, a unit of Grots steals an objective from a Knight. Think about it that way. 1 unit of Gretchen steals a unit, an objective from a Knight. That's wild, right? Like, you'll just say, nope, you don't get to play the game. This is actually one of the funny things. Even when Custodians were good and we had the index, people were always like complaining about how Custodians just wrecked Orcs. It's like, dude, oh, because I can't get through the Wardens. Like, why are you trying to kill the Wardens? I would just take a unit of 10 Grots, and I would advance them on the objective in front of the Wardens, and I'd be like, my 40-point unit has denied your 400-point unit the ability to score this objective. Orcs have so much freaking play, guys. So this is it. This is probably the list. I'm just going to go and copy this. Pretty happy with it. It basically does everything. It kills monsters. It kills big things. It can move fast. It survives certain things. I'm just going to put this into our PowerPoint. Yeah, it does literally everything we need it to do. Oh my gosh, that's such a longer list than the Blood Angels one was. All right, let's move on to the next army. Which, by the way, you guys, what armies are you thinking? What are you thinking are the big threats in the meta that I'm not really talking about, or what do you think is the army to really be looking at? Because my next army that I'm really strongly considering, and I've got two more that I'm strongly considering. My next army is going to be the Demons. I think the Demons have a lot behind them. I'm not going to spend too much time on them because the last time I did one of these videos, I did it, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think Demons have really changed since the last time I did the video. Just don't think I have. So Sisters, T-Suns, yeah, dude, I think Sisters are still pretty good. I think T-Suns, there's no way I would ever play T-Suns because you know, I'm not a freaking mouse in a hat. I'm a bald guy in a hat. Hordes. What is Hordes? Sorry, I'm not sure I understand that. All right, so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and figure this out. Configuration. I'll just hide some stuff. I don't need any of that stuff. All right. There is one thing I'm considering doing with Demons that I haven't been seeing other people do. First off, I don't take a freaking Bloodthirster because Bloodthirsters nuke something and then die. They nuke and die, and then they're just dead. And then you're just unhappy. And I don't want to be unhappy. I want to be happy. Every list I take is always going to start with Eroticus, and I'm always going to have a Greater and Clean one, and that Greater and Clean one will always have the Endless Gift. Whether you give them the Plague Flail or the Bile Blade, I don't think it matters. I will 100% be taking a Keeper Secrets because I think the Keeper Secrets is low-key one of the best things in the game. She will always have that Shining Aegis, since she's always -1 to hit, shooting and melee, and she has a 5 Field of Pain, and whenever she kills an enemy unit, an enemy model, she heals a wound on a 3-up. And she has AP3 in melee, which is just made for killing all of the infantry in the game. She is a total pimp, and she's fast. She moves 14. You give her advance and shoot, or advance and charge. I mean, yeah. So I love that. So I think that's where the list just kind of has to start. And there's some things I'm going to do. I'm going to put something right now which might get some people upset with me, but I think it could be correct. So I'm going to put a Night Rampager in here. Let me explain! Let me explain why I think the Night Rampager might actually be a good thing in Demons. Night Rampager, he innately moves 12. He's T12, so he's still competing with all of your opponents' anti-tank shooting, because all of your opponents' anti-tank shooting has to be going into your Greater Demons. So when you put that Rampager, it's just causing the split fire to happen even more. In melee, you have either 6 attacks that's going to be flat damage 6, or you're going to have 6 attacks that's going to be 8, flat damage 8, which is the one you're, of course, always going to choose. Or you're going to have 18 attacks, that's going to be strength 9, AP 3, damage 2, or 12 attacks, that's going to be strength 10, AP 2, damage 3. So you have the unbelievable anti-melee, anti-infantry, anti-tank attacks. So he hits just as hard as the Bloodthirster does. You could argue that he hits potentially slightly less hard than the Bloodthirster is, but he also hits a lot harder on average. Then he has innate the ability to get sustained hits 1 when he charges, which means he always hits harder than the Bloodthirster. And you can give him advance and charge once per game. That has nothing to do with your advance and charge strat, which means you can double up on units that advance and charge in a turn. And finally, this dude can now walk through walls, which means you can stage him wherever the heck you want to stage him. And the power of that, my friends, is so insane. I think it's just awesome. I think that Rampager is just a total freaking pimp. What do you guys think? He just rocks, dude. The Bloodthirster, I mean, you're gonna have to rapid ingress him, and then remember, like, he still can't walk through walls, so you have to go around all the terrain and stuff with him, which means you're gonna have to spend your advance and charge on him to get in. But the Rampager can just walk through that wall. He can go merc something, and then you can also advance and charge your Keeper Secrets somewhere, and it is just, dude, it's powerful. I think it's awesome, and I'm going to be playtesting it a lot. It's going to be in my playtesting group as I'm getting ready to make this list. Trevor McDonough says that he still has PTSD from when he played Demons and I outplayed him with Templars, bro. That was a fun game. You actually introduced me to some cool thoughts with Demons, so I really appreciate that game. I need action monkeys, guys. I just have to have action monkeys because you just have to have them. Flesh Hounds are the cheapest things you can get. So I'm going to take a pair of Flesh Hounds. Contrary to what some other people might think, I think Daemonettes rock. I think for 100 points, a unit of Daemonettes just goes out there and trades up into any other 100-point unit in the game outside of like maybe like the Mephiston Lone Up, right? But with their ability just to re-roll hit rolls and their ability to get to spike the devastating wounds and regenerate models when they pass their battle shocks, they move 9. You can give them advance and charge. Oh my god, dude, they're insane. So I'm gonna run 2 units of Daemons. I think Blood Letters suck. I think they're awful. I think Blood Crushers are good, but now that the Ren Master is nerfed, I'm not going to be taking them. I do, however, want to play around with Flamers. Because one of the big problems in the meta right now will be those, like, Aquilins. The stupid, annoying little Aquilins. They're going to be deep striking down. And they're going to be... You have to be able to overwatch them, right? So, what do I think about a unit of Flamers? I think a unit of Flamers is actually not a bad option. And for 75 points, like, it's just good to have like a 75-point unit that can just hit with some AP Flamers really is not a bad choice. Like, I'm just going to kind of throw 2 units in there, and I'm going to see where the points land later. Because, honestly, I kind of just like that a lot. So, Chad has an idea. He says, isn't Beast of Neural cheaper than Hounds now for Action Monkeys? It is. And you might be right about that, but the Hounds are also really fast. Shit, man, you might have a really good point. Yeah, I think you've got a good point there. There's kind of no reason to take dogs over Beast. How fast does the Beast move? Let's see. Oh, he's only moved 6. All right, well, the Hounds move 12. So there actually is a pretty big difference. But maybe a Beast in there is probably a pretty solid idea. Oh, I do need the mask. So if you guys know the mask combo, it's just stupid. I freaking love the combination with the mask. He Mask of Slanesh. You just put them right next to the Keeper's Secrets. So whatever charges the Keeper's Secrets will be -1 to the Keeper's Secrets. It'll be -1 to hit and wound the Keeper's Secrets, and then the Keeper's Secrets is going to be +1 to wound that unit. It's just a brutal combination. So I think I always take the Mask. It's also just a great Lone Up character that's fast. Once again, it has that fights first, which, I mean, fights first on Lone Up character is insane. So yeah, I think that's great. Then I actually have 175 points. That's actually pretty good. Honestly, man, I could just do like for 175 points. Oh yeah, I need some Nurglings, so I'm gonna take 2 units of Nurglings. That gives me 105 points left. Like, what do I do with 105 points? Do I just... I think maybe an extra unit of Flamers? Or an extra unit of Daemonettes? Oh! I need Plague Bearers. Alright, so now I'm 5 points over because I need Plague Bearers, which means one of these Flesh Hounds turns into another beast. Done. 2,000 points on the dot. Now let's run through this list. This is freaking sick, guys. You take Rodicus with the Greater and Clean One. So, Greater and Clean One gives Rodicus a 6-up Feel No Pain. So now the 6-up Feel No Pain on 22 wounds actually does add up. Like, it does matter. So now Rodicus is actually tougher to kill. Then Rodicus buffs the Greater and Clean One because he makes all Nurgle demons +1 damage against a target in the fight phase. So they are a wombo combo that just wrecks anything. The Greater and Clean One never dies with his 4-up Feel No Pain. And they both heal whenever you pass Battle Shock, which they're +1 to pass Battle Shock, which is freaking hilarious. So they basically go together to do whatever they need to do. And remember, one of the cool things with Demons is you can spend a CP to pick 2 guys up in your turn, and then you can spend 1 CP to 3-inch Deep Strike one of them. So one thing that I like to do is I'll 3-inch Deep Strike my Greater and Clean One when people don't think about, me being able to Deep Strike them in. And then I will 6-inch Deep Strike Rodicus within the Shadow of Chaos from the Greater and Clean One, and then Rodicus gets a 6-inch charge out of Deep Strike in my opponent's backfield if they don't screen it properly, which, dude, honestly, it's harder to screen 3-inch Deep Strikes than you think, even against a really big base, which is pretty damn powerful. I'll do the same thing with my Keeper Secrets and like a unit of Daemonettes as well, by the way. Yeah, so that's awesome. We already discussed the mask combination with the Keeper of Secrets. I've got 2 units of Daemonettes. These girls are fast. They get +1 to charge. Their moves 9. They get advance in charge. I can put them wherever I need them to be. I got 2 units of Nurglings just to stop pre-game movement stuff. And honestly, dude, if you're playing Orcs and you charge into one of my Greater Demons, you'll kill one of my Greater Demons with your Beast Boss, but Nurglings making you -1 to hit really changes some things. Oh, I guess not against Orcs, because you'll be +1 hit. But I digress. That can really make a big difference for a lot of other armies that are coming in. Playbearers give me some sticky objectives, which is really nice that I don't have to spend my CP there, because I really want my CP on the uppy, downy, and the advanced charge. 2 units of Flamers. These guys are just nice little skirmishers. They can do a cheeky little Overwatch. 75 points for it. With AP Overwatch is always pretty solid, man. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. 2 Beasts of Nurgle. They're just not going to die to the things that want to be shooting into them. So good job, Chad. Appreciate the shout. 1 unit of Hounds, because I like having a faster unit. And then that Knight Rampager is just a total dick. I think I like this list. This is one of the things that I'm going to be... I might put this on stream on Friday, because I've got a good stream game for you guys. So I think I might put this on stream on Friday for everyone. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. Now, let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I got the 15 units, man. And even though the 2 Nurglings can't do actions, that's 13 units that can. Yeah, I like this. This is good. This is good. Vice wants me to increase my mic volume. Is anyone else having problems with the mic volume? So I think that's about where it goes there. I can just maybe speak a little closer. How smooth and sultry is this? Are you excited? Yeah. All right, so this is where I'm happy with this. Now, what I did is I pulled up a demon list from a guy who I've known who has played demons before a few times, and I really enjoyed what he did. Yeah, so this is Luke Townsend, and this is his Coventry list, and he actually has a pretty interesting one as well. So we went Bellicor, Bloodthirster, Greater and Clean One, Kairos, and Scarbrand. So he went full on, I'm going to punch you in the face, Death Cult, which, you know, isn't necessarily the worst thing. Bloodthirster and Scarbrand, definitely. They're Death Cult. They do punch a lot. Greater and Clean One still doing the Greater and Clean One things. Kairos has some interesting shooting, and he does have that nice little CP regen to Siege Demons, which, you know, he's a Siege Demon, so he'll give to himself. Bellicor activating, just doing Bellicor things. 1 unit Nurglings, Plague Bearers. Yep, I get that. Dude, the free sticky is better than the CP sticky. It just is. All right, he's running 3 Flamers. Okay, I think I do like that. I think the 3 Flamers is cool. And then 2 units of Fleshhounds. I like my list a lot more, honestly. I think I just like my list way more. Dude, that Rampager is such a problem for people, because he's just going to be able to stage in that central ruin, and your opponent is just going to get wrecked with them. I think that Rampager is a big deal. This was Josh Roberts. All right, cool. Yeah, all right, so let's go back. I've got one more army that I really want to take a look at. And this is actually going to be the Chaos Space Marines. So, I think Chaos Space Marines are a very powerful list right now. Get wrecked, nerd. All right. I realized I didn't go to my PowerPoint and kind of show you like the strengths and weaknesses. So let's just switch to that real quick, because I think that should be that. It's just really important for me, right? Because this is how I build my list, and I want you guys to understand. When I build list, I look at the strengths of my army, and then I figure out how do I make my strength stronger. If I can cover up the weaknesses of my army, I will, but I'm only really going to bother doing that is if I can eliminate a weakness. If I can't eliminate the weakness, I'd rather not spend points just making my weakness less bad, and I'd rather go full in on things that make my army good. All right, so this is Demons. They've got unbelievable jank with their up and downy. They've got unkillable big boys. Their Greater Demons are just total dicks. They're very, very fast, and their nerf and buff stacking is just unbelievable, kind of like what we just said. Their shooting sucks, so I don't try to give shooting. I do like the Flamers just for very, very strategic stuff, but they're not meant to go like kill tanks and shooting and stuff. It's just to be able to like handle like 1 or 2 little skirmisher units. All right, CSM. All right, guys, CSM damage. Seriously, guys, all the damage that CSM does is absolutely stupid. They're very, very fast, and they have absolutely oppressive range firepower. This is what CSM does. They are not a subtle army. So let's get into it, man. Let's freaking build a CSM list here. I've got some ideas, and I think I'm pretty excited about. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hello. Gave you a really close-up on my face, though. All right. So let's get into the CSM. Battle size is... We are 100%. I think I'm on Renegade Raiders, but Pack-Bound Zealots is very interesting to me as well. I think Pack-Bound Zealots has some really, really interesting things that we can do, and I'm kind of curious about it. All right, so I want to rock out characters-wise. There's nothing I have to have. Like, I don't have to have. Really, what I'm thinking is there's going to be one of two styles of what I want to do with my Renegade Raiders. I either want Abaddon or I don't want Abaddon. If I take Abaddon, I'm going to be running Vindicators and freaking Predators and Forge Fiends, and then I'm going to have just some damaging stuff up front to force people into my shooting lines. If I'm not running Abaddon, I'm probably going to take all those things anyway, but I'm going to take one unit of ACDC. I think one unit of ACDC is still brutally good. I don't think you need 3 units of ACDC, but I think 1 unit is a nightmare for people to really deal with. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to put the Dark Commune in. I know they've been nerfed. I don't care. I think 1 is still sick. I think 3 might just be a little too hard to make work. But I'm definitely going to keep 1 brick of him. So I need 6 Torments, and I need 10 Mutants. Dark Commune, I need the, what is it? Yep, I want the Scouts, because that unit needs to be fast. I'm out of beer. That's sad. It is sad. Now I have to move on to water. Ugh. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with the Dark Commune. I'm going to start with the Cursed Cultist. That puts me at 300 points on the dot. Now, I might actually remove Mark of the Hound later, just depending on what points are looking like. There are some things that I really, really enjoy in Chaos Space Marines, and the main one is going to be the freaking Legionnaires. Do you guys realize just how amazing these Legionnaires are? You're going to put like a heavy melee weapon on the Sergeant. Elon Cordova says, what do you think about 2 ACDC units? Honestly, I think you can probably build that as well. I just want to start with 1. And then honestly, you could almost certainly just build out onto another one as well. I don't think you want a Balefire Tomb. You're definitely going to take another guy with a heavy melee weapon and a Legionary with a other weapon, which will always be a las cannon, because las cannons with sustained hits are no freaking joke. So I'm going to take 4 of these squads. 4 of them. Every single one of these guys is a total Chad. And one thing that I'm going to immediately do is I'm going to give myself 2 units of Rhinos. I might even take a 3rd. Because a Rhino in Raiders might as well be a freaking Predator, right? It's just stupid. Or in CSM in general, just a Rhino is, it's just bonkers how good a Rhino is. So I'm going to start with 4 units of Legionnaires, 2 Rhinos. I might add a 3rd. Bikers are insane. I'm going to take 2 units of Bikers. Bikers are amazing for skirmishing, and they're also like they come with 2 meltaguns, which is like the hell. You get 2 meltaguns in a unit of 3 Bikers. Like what? that's just silly. Like that's just dumb. Power Fist on the Sergeant. We'll just copy that. Yeah, so let's start with that. So this is the core of it. I've got 1 big ACDC that can just get to where they're going. I freaking love the Legionaries, so I'm going to take 4 of them. That puts me at 950. That gives me a lot of points to play around with. I will immediately decide that I want 2 Forge Fiends. I like Forge Fiends over Vindicators. I don't hate Vindicators. I think Vindicators are great, but I'm going to go and put in 2 Forge Fiends for now. If points get crazy, then I can always change that. A Forge Fiend with 3d3 blast sustained, it's just actually bananas. Now I do think Forge Fiends get a lot better when you throw in Abaddon, which means that this list might need to be Abaddon. But I think if I take the ACDC, I don't want Abaddon. It's like if I throw Abaddon in right now, what does this look like? It gets expensive real fast. I think that takes away too much stuff. But let's just leave them in there so I can see what the points look like. I need a Cultist Mob for Sticky. Let's see, I'm going to take 1 Chaos Lord with a hammer, because it's just good to be able... Oh! Just had a reset for everything. So I'm going to give him a Demon Hammer, because that is just a great thing to have. I love the 10-man Chosen Squad with the Fabius, but that gets very pricey. If I take that, there's no way I'm taking Abaddon, which honestly might be the correct answer. You know, I think it's already the correct answer. Let me look at Fabius. Man, I don't know. That 10-man Chosen, I just don't think I need it, dude. Listen, all right, everyone loves these like Chosen squads and everything, but bro, Legionaries are already so busted-ass good in Renegade Raiders. I don't know, man. Like, I don't think I need them, man. And dude, I agree, man. If I'm not gonna take Abaddon, I think I'm gonna drop the Forge Fiends. which means I'm going to put Predators in because Predators are still freaking awesome. Let me do that, dude. I'm sold. I'm with you on that. Let's just put the Predators in because those Chaos Predators are still freaking beast. I'm going to put 3. They're going to have Havoc Launcher, Las Cannons, Combi Weapon. I'm just going to have 3 of those. That gives me 210 points to play with. That's nice. This is such a solid shooting platform here. Zane, you're a little late. If you just rewind, we went through Orks pretty in-depth. So this is a really super solid shooting platform for these Destructors here. I got these Rhinos in here, which might as well be Destructors. So this is, what is this going to be? It's going to be freaking 10 Las Cannons. They're all going to have sustained. I think it's honestly pretty just freaking Rockstar there. Melty Guns with the Chaos Spikers that just get to move really, really fast. You know what? Now here's something I'm interested in. Because what am I trying to accomplish here? These guys have crazy melee pressure, and they also have some good shooting. The Accursed Cultists have crazy melee pressure. I like it. Bikers have just good forward action-y pressure, and they can deal well with skirmisher units. The Destructors shoot really well, especially when you just give them their sustained. Rhinos might as well be Destructors. It gives me 210 points. I think I want some Raptors. I think I really want some Raptors in here, now that I think about it. Because if I throw some Raptors in here, 5-man unit of Raptors, and you can get 2 Melty Guns in them. Put a Power Fist on the Sergeant. Give them that sweet, sweet plasma. 2 of them have Chainswords. They can just get down, and honestly, the 2 of them, they can just go and open up a freaking transport. Raptors are expensive. Jeez, 90 points on Raptors does seem like a good bit, but doesn't seem bad. Yeah. I'm going to throw the Raptors down. I see people asking about the Possessed, and honestly, I like the Possessed. The Possessed, there's a reality where I could do Possessed, but honestly, I think I just really like the Legionaries. I just really like the Legionaries. They're just freaking good, man. Cool. Predators with the last 120. Oh yeah, Cypher. You throw a Cypher in for sure. Definitely throw in Cypher, and that means I'm just gonna go ahead and give the Dread Reaver on the Cast Lord. 15 points. Is there anything I really want to upgrade? Bikers could go up to, what, 85 points? What does that get me? Nothing. Felgor Beastman? I could go Felgor Beastman with them, I suppose. I don't think I will. Nah. Dude, that's good. I like this. I like this a lot. This is freaking strong. Yeah, this basically just rocks. Alright, Warp Talons. Dude, Warp Talons just a 5-man unit of Warp Talons. Just think about it. Alright, so the question is, do I do Warp Talons? The unit of Warp Talons is 125 points. You're gonna have hitting on 3s, strength 5, re-rolling. Do you kill a unit? Like, alright, I'm gonna pull up Ghost Lords. If you guys don't know what Ghost Lords is, then you should, because Ghost Lords is where you can just do like quick math. If you're like me and you suck at math. So what are Warp Talons? Let me just look them up. Just make sure I have the exact correct. I want to make sure I have the exact correct profile here. Because what do the Warp Talons actually do for me? Let's add them in. Let's find them. I want to look at their profile. Make sure I get it right. So they have 4 attacks each. Hits on 3, strength 5, AP 2. All right, so I'm going to go to Ghost Lords. 4 times 5 is 20 attacks. They hit on 3s. Strength 5. AP 2. Yep, not 3. AP 2. We're almost always going to give them sustained. They don't have reroll hit rolls. No wound modifier. And no critical wounds. But you do reroll wound roll. Failed wound rolls. Then let's just put them into a unit of Marine bodies. Toughness 3 up. Wounds per model 2. T4, yep. Let's just see. Do you kill it? So on average, you even with sustain, you don't kill the squad. Now, they get pretty dang close. Oh, actually, expected 9.88. Yeah, okay. So they, on average, kill the squad of Marines, but for 1 CP, they can just say, nope, and they can spend an armor of contempt, which means they do this, and then you only kill 3 of them, which means your Warp Talons immediately die. So Warp Talons don't do what we want them to do like anymore. They just, a 5-man can't hunt down the unit like that you just want it to hunt down, which means you need a 10-man, and a 10-man is 250, and you just got other options for 250, I think. So yeah, I don't think we want Warp Talons. Now, we could remove the Raptors. I could remove the Raptors, and that could potentially put something else in here. But what would I put in if I removed the Raptors? Because I like having that deep strike unit. Honestly, I love having that deep strike unit in. Man, I would give myself some freaking Havocs if I could. But I don't think Havocs really serve it. Dude, honestly, I think I like this. This is something I'm gonna playtest as well. I'll do this on stream for you guys as well. Yeah, I'm gonna do this as on stream as well. So we'll play this one, and I'll make sure I get that Demons list played on stream. So let me go ahead and take this out, and I'm gonna go ahead and click export. Anyone here got anything that you think that I'm really missing? Because these are the 4 armies I'm personally strong in, and I think most of you probably know my style. I'm very melee focused, but I'm okay with some shooting and stuff. Any of you guys think I'm missing a faction that I should really be focusing on for myself for taking to Worlds? If you do, type it in the chat. Let me see what you got. No, I think I'm pretty happy, man. So these are the 4 armies that I'm considering. Now, hopefully this gave you guys some insight into how I actually build list and like the thought process that I go through, right? It's like, okay, Chosen are awesome. I think, yeah, Chosen are cool. They get the advance and charge and stuff, but I can already give myself advance and charge out of the Rhino, and Legionaries are cheaper, and Legionaries get full wound rerolls innately. Dude, why don't I just run Legionaries? Like, why would I need them? And there's actually a pretty... So I checked on Josh Roberts, because he's playing a lot of them. So I pulled up his list here so you guys can see what he's doing. So he's running Double Chaos Lord and Cypher and Fabius Bile. Then he has 1 Cultist Mob, Legionnaires, 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 Legionnaires. Hard to argue with that. Like, we're both right on 4. I think that's pretty much awesome. He goes triple Rhino, which I get that. He's got Predator Structure, Predator Structure. Okay, all right. So we're on the exact same brain wavelengths here. He did take the 10-man Chosen Brick with Fabius Bile, and then he went with Rubrics. Yeah, honestly, Rubrics are a really good choice too. Like, that's honestly a pretty damn good army as well. I think I just have a little bit more stuff than him. I think I like the Bikers, but I get the Rubrics, no doubt about it. Yeah. All right, so I understand his army. That makes sense. Honestly, we're basically selecting the exact same elements. That's probably going to give you guys some good insight, right? Like, you look at this list, it's like, okay, cool, I'm taking 4 units of Legionaries. Like, they're just so damn good. Yes, I'm taking 4 Predator Structures. That's just kind of the discussion that we're going through. All right, so Mike is saying I should look at Imperial Guard. Bro, there's no way I'm doing Imperial Guard. That is just so opposed to my style of play. I just don't think there's any world where I'm doing it. I appreciate the suggestion there. Yeah, I just not doing it. I could borrow the army from a friend, but no. Necrons, it's just not me. I did look at building an Annihilation League army once, and actually that was pretty cool, because I do think that when you look at Necrons, those Scorpex, bro, those Scorpex are freaking good. They base move 8, they get to reroll hit rolls when they charge for 90 points for 3 of them. Dude, that's value town. I mean, I could easily see a army that runs that way. Yeah, I could easily see what happens their way. When you just spam Scorpex, whether it's going to be the Ophidians or sorry, Ophidian Destroyers or Scorpex Destroyers. The Annihilation League looks like it has some legs to me, personally. I know a lot of people are excited about the Obesians Phalanx now that the king gets the keywords and stuff, but I don't think Obesians does it. Tal, but all crew. Yeah, no. World Eaters. Yeah, dude, World Eaters I think are still good. Yeah, I think World Eaters are definitely an option, to be real with you. To be honest with you, I think World Eaters are certainly still a choice. Let's see, what can World Eaters not handle? World Eaters can't handle guard. They don't have enough units, and they can't kill the Aquilans in shooting, so you can't get past guard. And I think when I build a list, it has to be able to get past guard, and so World Eaters can't do that. I think that's the problem. I think World Eaters can probably handle just about anything else. Like they can play well into just about anything else, but they can't handle guard with all the Aquilin spam, which means I don't think you can do World Eaters. That was a good suggestion. Jay's asking, what about Biosanctic? Dude, honestly, I think Biosanctic looks sick, but there's no way I'm gonna get good at it that quickly. I'm not a GSC player. It's just something I don't think I have the skill to build that quickly. Trevor McDonough says if he does World Eaters, he has to do shadow box and do push-ups during the opponent's shooting phase. Dude, I met that guy. I know the guy. He had approached me for coaching. He's a little bit of a hoot. So I know who you're talking about. That meme is actually real. Death Guard is real. Yeah, so I think Death Guard is a very, very relevant army. Yeah, so I think Death Guard actually is probably worth looking at. Let's take a look at Death Guard real quick. Let's do that. Chaos, Death Guard. Yeah, so let's do that before we take off for the evening. Add force, create list. Dude, how do you not take Mortarion at 300 points? Dude's a rock star. Like, it's just freaking awesome. There's no world where you don't take him, right? I'm gonna take those off. Battle size to 2,000 points. All right. I think I love Typhus. Just drums down. He has that little thing where he shoots you and he's all like pew 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 pew. Get wrecked, nerd. Dude, are people still running 3 tanks? I don't think 3 tanks is the way anymore. But I tell you what is the way. It's these freaking bloat drones. They're insane. You're gonna take 3 of them. One's gonna be a flesh mower. The others are probably gonna be plague spitters. 1 flesh mower just so you can run in and just really have that punch in melee for one unit, and then you're gonna do the plague spitters on the others. Oh, we got a question here. For a hybrid Blood Angels, how about Incursors? Dante already gives +1 hit on melee, and Incursors can give the shooting element +1 hit. Yeah, that's honestly not a bad option. That's actually a really good suggestion, too. Having a unit of Incursors just to give it procs that freaking +1. So, Christos, bro, there's no way I'm going to try your last name. I don't want to disrespect you like that, but I appreciate your comment. You say Max Dastral Termes. Dude, that's real. I don't think that's actually going to play because, you know, then a freaking Nid player just comes through and kills all your Death Shrouds. But I think it's pretty hilarious. I'll tell you that. Oh, I need to get rid of these freaking Legends units. Let's see. Get rid of that. I think we definitely want the freaking Destructors here because you have those lethals. It's just stupid when you put the last cannons and on them. Plague Combi Bolter, Havoc Launcher. 2 Plague Combi Bolter, Havoc Launcher. Last cannons, yeah. Combi Bolter and the Havoc Launcher. So that gives me a stupid amount of shooting. I do think I definitely want maybe some of those freaking what do you call them? I think we're gonna do the two Plague Marine bricks. All the good weapons. I'm not gonna fill out the good weapons here. It's just because I know I want all the good weapons, which means you need 2 rhinos. Double rhino. Leaves you at 1550. Dude, I got tons of shooting. I got good melee, but it means I just need the characters now, which means you need the Blight Spawn, and you need the, what's the other one? Biologus, is that right? Yeah. Double Biologus. So I got the 2 fight first units right there. Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Mortarion to just make sure everyone ignores all modifiers, which is insane. And now I'm going to put into the Death Shrouds. So do I want a 3-man or do I want the 6-man? Honestly, the 6-man is just insane Overwatch potential to just ruin someone's day. I think a 3-man's probably good though, because a 3-man just causes issues where they need to be. And that leaves me with 120 points, which is pretty sick actually. Oh, you know what though? Yeah. What if I drop one of these Destructors and I throw the 2 Brigands in? That could be it. Yeah, that would be actually pretty nasty. So we need Chaos Brigands. War Dog Brigands. Oh, that's way too many points. I'm 80 over if I do that. I gotta drop those Death Shroud. Do I like that? What's the enhancement that you give them? Always forget. That's not the one. Living Plague, is that right? Kind of cute. Shamble Rot. And then the droning. Yeah, so I think you just do a Living Plague on him. All right, so what that would give us a Mortarion. It would give us Typhus. The 2 fights first bricks. 2 Destructors. 3 Bloat Drones to do all your skirmishing. 2 Rhinos and 2 Brigands. Damn, Death Guard's still expensive, though. Death Guard's still expensive. They're a good freaking army, though. There's no doubt about it, but they're definitely still pricey. For Orks, people are talking about Mass Green Tide. Yeah, dude, I think Green Tide is totally reasonable. I think Green Tide is absolutely an option that people can be playing. People maybe should be playing. Because the reality is, Orks be cheap, bro. Orks be very, very cheap right now. So I could definitely see that. Tell you what. Yeah, that's what I'm not sold on this. Let me take a look here because I know Pumbaa has a pretty sick list that was just at Pura Cup. Let me see if I can pull that up. If I can pull that up, I'll share that. Give me a second here, guys. Let me see if I can find it. Might have this in another window. Yeah, all right, let me copy this, and I'm going to put this in a new window here. Yeah, so this is a Death Guard list that someone who I know is, like, really on top of it. I can share his list with you, because I think it's probably going to be better than what I just came up with, to be honest with you. So let's take a looky here. All right, so this is Pumbaa. If you guys don't know him, he's been recently was the captain of Team Poland. He's a freaking amazing player. So he's running 1 Biologus, Putrefier, and 1 Foul Blight Spawn, so he's only doing 1 Fights First Brick. Morty, of course, because Morty freaking rocks. So he's got 1 other Fight First Bricks. He's got Morty, 1 Rhino for the Fight First Brick. Then he's got 20 Death Guard Cultist, 2 Destructors, 3 Bloat Drones, and 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, and 1 Brigand. That's fascinating. Okay, so he's still running the big Plague Burst Crawlers. And so he just did this at Pirate Cup. And this list still wrecks. This list still rocks. The 3 Plague Crawlers, maybe I just don't have the experience with Death Guard to really understand why they're still there. But honestly, as an assault tank, I still get it. Like, I mean, there's still a 2-up tank that you can move that up on an objective, and that just says no to a lot of infantry armies. Like, I couldn't imagine playing against this with an infantry army. I think you just die instantly with all those 2-up flamers. So, yep. This is probably a much better Death Guard list than what I just came up with, actually. So I would recommend something like this. All right, guys. If any of you guys have questions for me, go ahead and type them down. And we're almost at an hour and a half here. Damn, hit the like and share and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me take a look at chat here. Let's see. Magnus, you can't submit a list. This is simply for people to hang out while I'm doing my list, so I can teach you guys how my thought process is, so that you guys can get better at list building and stuff. Bonsai Kitty Gaming, give me your thoughts on Mono Slaanesh Demons. Saw a few lists do well. I think Mono Slaanesh Demons is a great way to do bad with demons. You really want some of the other things. Like if you just saw the demon list I just made, I definitely like Slaanesh. I think Daemonettes are way underrated. I think Daemonettes are really good. And I think that our Keeper of Secrets rocks. I love the mask. But dude, how do you argue with the combo wombo that is Rodicus and the Greater and Clean One? Like it's insane. The Rampager that I'm talking about bringing, I think that's pretty damn sick. It really makes a big difference. So yeah. Matt R wants to ask, why doesn't she love me back? Well, bud, it's because you didn't super chat me in a beer. If you had super chatted me in a beer, then she would have loved you back. Sorry, it's just the truth. I speak truths. Appreciate you hanging out, man. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. So these are the 4 armies I'm really strongly considering right now. It's gonna be the Blood Angels, the Orks, it's going to be CSM, and the Demons. I think out of the list that we did today, I'm most excited about is probably actually those Orks and the Demons. I think Blood Angels are in a good place, but I'm not sure they have what it takes to win the Worlds. I just don't know. I think my reservation with Orks are I think Orks are actually are poised to do really well into both guard and Nids, but I think they are weaker into the rest of the field. I think Demons just have enough jank to do well into anyone, but I don't necessarily think they specialize and do great into anyone. And then CSM just has the ability to punch anything in the throat and giggle while they struggle to breathe. So I think that's a real consideration as well. Yeah. So Curzor wants to ask, Blood Angels now have more access to sustained hits with the Jump Death Company Captain and the Assault Centurions and the Terminator Librarian. Is there something there? I don't think so, dude. That Jump DC Captain, the problem is that DC are just wildly overcosted. They're just, dude, for their cost, they're insane. Like, I can't, like, 130 points for 2 Power Fist and 1 Eviscerator. That's a lot, dude. And OC0. Don't forget OC0, because that unit's OC0. And if you're putting the captain with them, it's not a chaplain, which means they're OC0. That's a problem. Yep. And then Alex says, one of the key strengths of Blood Angels is rapid ingress, jump packs, and advanced charge units. What do we rapid ingress? Whatever you want, man. There's lots of options in there. But it's also nice to not have a rapid ingress. So, gentlemen, I'm going to pop off here. I appreciate all of you. I love all of your attention. You guys are rock stars, and I hope you guys have a great evening. If you have some other suggestions, make sure you post them up in the Discord. I invite everyone to join the Discord. We have an extremely good community in our competitive Discord. Join the member side. There is a free area, which we talk in there, but the majority of the action is on the member side. That's where we have all of our individual channels. That's where we host all of our tournaments through. So we'd love to see some of you guys more on there. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream now. You guys are rock stars, and I hope everyone has an amazing evening. Until next time.